So here are the instructions for week 11 in more detail than on the announcements. As you'll see, once you get into the folder, just underneath this video, there's a description of the assignment, and you have an email or a letter to you from the CEO of Rotten Tomatoes, who's telling you that you have been hired to write this article about the actual events of a movie based on actual events. And so you need to take your theme paper and think closely about the moments that you highlighted in the theme paper. And then you think about the research that you did in your annotated bibliography, and you think about the paraphrase and quotation exercise that you did, and you find ways to work in citations into each of your body paragraphs. In the information for this week, you'll see that I gave an example paper. It is my same example theme paper for the movie Memphis Belle, where I analyze the theme about bravery. And within that, I found some examples from sources and I adjusted the paper just like you will. And you'll see in the instructions too that I asked you to do one of three things: identify whether the film kept things the same, modified them, or downright changed everything. And this doesn't have to be consistent for each paragraph. You can have one paragraph as this thing was kept the same, another that this thing was different, or you can keep it consistent for all three paragraphs. Just make sure that that is reflected in your thesis and then reflected throughout your paper. When you work quotes into your paper, you should be trying for a little bit of variety. It'd be great to see all of you try to paraphrase as well as use direct quotations. It'd be nice to see you try different lead-in techniques to the quotes. But most importantly, what I would like to see is a cohesive paper that fulfills the requirement of the article for Rotten Tomatoes. You're talking about the story behind the story. You're informing the reader of why the director may have chosen things to change or to really keep the same to fit that particular theme. And so if you're doing that, you'll be all right. From a timeline perspective, since this is a summative paper, and I know you've written the theme paper, I do want to give you some feedback though. So if you can have a draft to me on Monday the 23rd, I will look it over and give it back to you. And then we'll just have this paper and a growth mindset journal the week of Thanksgiving, just those two things. So you can take my comments and make some adjustments and then have that final second summative project turned in on the 30th of November. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. That's the plan. Like I said in the announcements, there is one final grammar lesson that's on colons and semicolons. There is also a discussion board post, which you're going to have to think about your paper before you do the discussion board post, because the post asks you, is your movie mostly keeping the same, mostly modified, or mostly completely fabricated? And then kind of get into a little detail on that. So don't forget to do that. And then there is also a growth mindset journal. And like I said in the announcements, it would be wonderful to see you make up some of the things that you are missing. Dylan and I want to help you succeed, so just let us know if there's some way we can help you with that. Thank you, and good luck this week.